So here is Lonergan again. Richard with him. Little trap play. Got 5, got 7, got 8. Out to the 33 goes Turbo Richard before Matt Rose. Jacoby Murray has come in the defensive line as Richard will take a swing pass from Lonergan, and here goes Turbo down the far sideline, and Richard scores. .49 yards, Dylan Lonergan to Turbo Richard.
Yeah, take a look at the linebacker, take a look at the back scat, and then the crossing route here, the mesh routes. But they're going to isolate that linebacker, and they're going to be able to get the back free and create this mismatch down the field. That's not a good matchup right there for that linebacker, Zach Johnson.
Boy, Richard can lead.
I tell you, and Turbo with the name Turbo.
And all 3 timeouts take over with Richard running the ball on first down. And Turbo's going to get 8, maybe 9 to the 45 before he got knocked out of bounds. Here's the second down. Pressure coming. Lonergan got rid of it, took a shot. Richard to catch, first down inside the 20, got dumped over at the 17. Bond in motion. Snap a little high. They're going to hand it to Richard, and here's Turbo Richard trying to find a block, gets the first down, and out he goes to the 38-yard line. And Dana, this 40 seconds to go in this first half. Lonergan, Richard the catch, first down to the 20.
Will happen again. We just have to go play by play.
All right, Dylan Lonergan's 275 yards of passing, and a first down give is Turbo Richard. That's Bond in motion. And look at here goes Richard again. That's a first down run. 7 on the play before Patterson makes the stop. You see the numbers on Lonergan. Fast start tonight. Has cooled off considerably, including his first interception. There's a quick throw on the perimeter. Turbo Richard out of the backfield hauls it in. And they're going to run this with Richard. And he'll get right at about 5 here on first down to the 46. Final 4 minutes and change of quarter 3 here tonight. Lonergan over 300 yards passing, and here goes Turbo Richard. He'll spin inside the 5 to the 4. It'll be second and goal there.
Bond just had a foot on the chalk, couldn't get one in bounds, so it was an incomplete pass to start the game. Lonergan again looking for Bond and finds him at the 20. Spins away from the tackler and gets it just outside the 25. Aiden Monetai was there for the tackle for Cal.
1 after 2 to start this game. He's going to have an awfully productive year.
3rd and 1, and they use the power back, Turbo Richard, to move the sticks. 2nd down and 7. They give to Richard. Bust through the initial tackle, but gets popped at the 40. Again to Richard. Testing the middle of that Cal defense, picks up 4 on first down. Bond in motion. Richard has it inside the 10, finally dragged down at about the 6.
Jude Bowery, their normal left tackle, was a late scratch. He's not healthy, so having to find their way there.
Richard up the middle, cuts it back outside, inside the 10, and he'll score.
Right when I mentioned the offensive line, they do an excellent job. Open up the runways for just and settle in. That team might have a better spot about ultimately winning this game.
Lonergan to throw. Looking to Richard out of the backfield, makes the catch, but he's met immediately by Uluave, who's having himself a day.
And that's the hardest thing to cover as a linebacker, those wheel routes.
Jen Bond in motion. Turbo has a huge hole, opts to cut it back inside, runs over a defender. Picks up about 13. Lonergan fakes the pitch. Gets it back out to Turbo. Can't make a man miss. Another great tackle in open space. Aaron Hampton, exciting finish. Looking forward to the halftime report to talk about all the craziness today in the ACC. We might have a crazy one here. Richard dances his way to another first down. Yes. Richard makes the catch over his shoulder. Taggart just couldn't quite get there. Comes in averaging 330 a game, second in FBS. Now, one thing they haven't been able to do in their first 3 games this season was run the football. They were averaging 73 yards rushing, and they've already almost gotten to that figure here in the early part of the third quarter in this game. So a little bit
of good things at Florida State. Speaks to the talent of Dylan Lonergan this year.
Turbo trying to get to the edge.
But they're putting guys into the league, and especially at the secondary spot, safety and corner this past year, doing a lot of good things.
Richard, watch out here. It's going to be a foot race. And he stays on his feet for the score. 71 yards. And the Cal lead was short-lived. Well, the Turbo kicked in here.
Nice patience, just a missed tackle by Olave in the hole, and it's off to the races for Richard. Breaks the tackle there, and you said it. It was a short-lived lead. Using that Turbo, bursting through the hole, coming right at you for 6.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Florida State, Penn State, some surprise shockers this afternoon.
Turbo makes the catch out of the backfield. Good pickup of about 7 on first down. First time tonight, BC in Clemson territory. Richard has a lot of room to run, and he's got a blocker in front of him. Powers through another tackle inside the 30.
Locate the football. They don't make that call.
Turbo into the end zone.
And you see him firing off, and Turbo basically going in untouched.
Got a lot of changes there. Play action for James. Checks it down. Richard again.
Lonergan, the Alabama transfer, got the start. Second possession for BC. They'll send the screen to Turbo Richard. Dragging a defender back into plus territory. He'll make something out of nothing.
He's been a lot of fun to watch.
It's a touchdown at the end of the half. They got BC back in it. Turbo Richard hit the X button, racing towards the 35.
Motion, and he's a tight end.
Turbo gets hit initially and then does just enough to move the sticks. Good second effort by Turbo Richard.
It leaves your defense tired and vulnerable.
Faking the pitch to Turbo. Now out to him in the flat. Has to beat a man and does inside the 5. Brought down at the 4. Tyron Polley bringing him down.
The field, you get safety rolling the other way. There's windows to be had.
Turbo out of the backfield. Into SMU territory. Down just shy of the 45. BC just 1 for 9, converting third downs today. Lonergan. Looks like his hand might have gotten hit as he released that one. Turbo on the catch, but there's Ahmad Moses again.
Having him back is critical.
Here's Turbo Richard on second down. He'll fire through the left side. Richard at the 20. And Turbo Richard inside the 10 before he's taken down by Butler.
That's a great run by Turbo, just running a little wide zone play, and it's extremely well blocked.
Here's Lonergan handing to Richard. He's in. Touchdown for Boston College. Charlotte pushes it in on a 3rd and goal. And Boston College, a 4th and goal rather.
I'm sure they're going to hand this off here.
Play clock down to 5. They're going to hand it to Richard. He got it and more. Turbo Richard near side to the 20. Richard banged out of bounds at the 15. 36-yard run on 4th and inches. And Omar Daniels is shaken up on the play.
Yeah, it's he traversed back on the field and made a big run.
Bond in the slot with Pugh at the bottom. And here's Lonergan looking to throw. This is Turbo Richard. Made the first guy miss, but Richard will be brought down right at the line to make the 34. It's going to be 4th and 1. 3 receivers to the top of your screen here in a moment. Tight end to the bottom is Franklin. They're going to hand it to Richard, and he races into the secondary. Turbo Richard is going to get BC the lead back. With 4:09 to go, the Eagles have answered.
Yeah, that's improbable on that down and distance. Great play. And then Georgia Tech gets out of the gap here. I don't know why. And Turbo makes him pay with his speed.
2nd and 1, manageable 2nd down.
And breaking it into the end zone untouched is Turbo Richard. So the first touchdown for either team today comes on the first offensive possession of this second half for the Boston College Eagles. Part of this second half, hit a 54-yard completion, get a 9-yard run. And what a career, of course, in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons. And off to the races down the sideline is Turbo Richard, and that is a touchdown. Boston College has just exploded here in the second half.